Hi dear friends! I'm Aika and welcome back to my channel. Kung bago ka sa channel ko and balak mong tapusin ang video na to, please don't forget to subscribe and click the notification bell para updated ka sa mga susunod ko pang mga videos. And kung nagustuhan mo naman, yung boses ko. And kung nagustuhan mo naman ang video ko, please click the like button and comment down below kung meron kang suggestions, clarifications, comments. Feel free to ask and I would love to hear from you. Bago ang lahat, to the one who made this intro for my vlog, kay Ed Gagarino. Hi Ed! Thank you so much for making this intro. And gagamitin ko na siya. Okay. And here it is! And that's the intro, guys. And for today's episode, wala akong i-featured na pagkain. Pero kung meron kayong gustong makita sa mga susunod ko mga videos na specific foods, free kayong magsulat sa aking comment box below and sabihan nyo lang ako. We'll try to make it and I will really appreciate it. The first thing that I want to talk about is the importance of habits in our daily lives. Habits, good habits that we incorporate in our daily lives. Habits form our identity, whether it's good or bad habits. Kung anong mga ginagawa mo pa ulit-ulit everyday defines you as a person. If you are the type of person which really are into setting goals, career goals for success, kung businessman or woman ka man, or you're working 9 to 5 in a company or housewife ka man, ang habits ay nagsisilbing gabay para sa goals na gusto mong ma-attain. Plus, kung maganda ang system mo at effective ito, ang habits ay nagsisilbing fuel din para makarating ka sa goal mo. Ano pagkakaiba? That is one way of having a functional life at masasabi kong you are really aiming for something greater. My original plan was to upload a video of myself talking about my depression and anxiety, my journey on depression and anxiety, but my inner self pulled me back on not doing it. Kasi napansin ko, habang ginagawa ko yung video na yun, I'm not yet totally healed or recovered. And masyadong nagiging emotional ako while doing that kind of video. Pero sino ba naman ang sabi sa akin na gawin ko yung video na yun? Kasi, I decided
to share that maybe in the future kasi sa YouTube parang dito ko lang na-express yung aking saloobin. Oo. Kung ano ako, kung ano yung mga nasa isip ko, and I find it na this is one way for me to be more creative. I think it will also help me. I think this will be my helpline na para mag-boost ang aking confidence sa sarili.
Napag-isipan ko na hindi pa talaga ito yung magandang panahon para i-share ito sa inyo, pero not yet, but I am eager to tell it with you or to share it with you in the future. So don't worry, sa lahat ng mga nagtitiwala at nakikinig sa akin or nanonood ng mga vlogs ko, pero mostly my vlogs is all about food. So this is kakaiba sa mga videos ko. I know din naman na kung iintayin pa natin ang reason, ang panahon na ako ay magiging totally recovered, medyo matatagalan talaga dahil alam naman natin na meron talaga mga panahon, meron mga panahon at oras na darating sa ating pakiramdam o sa ating sarili ang mga karanasan na nagdulot sa atin ng anxiety and depression. Alam natin na kahit anong saya ang meron tayo ngayon at kahit anong mga paraan ang gawin natin, darating ang oras na maaalala pa rin natin ang ganoong pangyayari sa buhay natin. Ang pagkakaiba lang kung ano ang katayuan ng ating puso sa oras na ito, sa panahong ito, sa present, kumbaga. I'll trust the process. There is a time for me. I'm hoping that I know pala. I know that there is a time for me to be confident enough to tell it with you. Ang mahalaga sa akin ngayon ay ang maibahagi ko sa inyo kung ano ang mga paraan at ang maaaring gawin ng mga taong nakakaranas din ito. Pero in this video, you will also expect me to tell a little bit story about myself in order to at least be the example for my own channel. Syempre, I will use my own experiences as an example. And of course, a little tips and a little hacks na gusto kong malaman yun. Ang good habits ay isa lamang sa magandang basihan o isang katangian na dapat meron ng isang tao. Hindi ibig sabihin na all the time, kahit you are always practicing good habits, ay hindi ka na mafo-fall into depression and anxiety. I will give you an example. I am a very anxious person, and in my teenage life, I always been thinking of what other people think of me, and I have feeling of unworthiness sa aking sarili dahil sa maraming karanasan. Growing up, hanggang makagraduate ako ng high school, ganun ang sistema ko. Up until nakapasok ko ng scholarship na tinake ko nung college. Actually, 2-year vocational course ito. In our school, we are taught of time management kasi we are working while studying. We are taught to be responsible on our time. Our schedule was in the morning, we woke up at 4:50, then do our morning prayer, and we are attending daily mass every day at 5:30 a.m. And we will be at work, we should be at work at 6:15 a.m. or 6:30. Then we should be finished by 2 to 2:30 p.m. Depende kung saan ka naka-assign ng work. By the way, ang work ko that time was rotating in the kitchen, pantry, or laundry, even being a receptionist. And after ng work, we should be already preparing ourselves to attend class at 3 p.m. hanggang 6 p.m. And then we do our house tasks and we should be resting or sleeping at 8 p.m. After ng high school, yan ang pang-araw-araw na ginawa ko for 2 years. Mapapansin nyo na most of our time is already fixed and has a proper habits that can help us students. Without you asking me, I will share to you that time, hirap na hirap din ako sa academics ko. Even simple computation sa math subject namin, hindi ko makuha na kahit review lang yun ng high school. At that time, hindi ko ma-figure out ang dahilan kung bakit ako nahihirapan. Dahil alam ko naman yun noon. Dahil alam kong kaya ko namang sagutan ang mga katanungan na yun. I also been distracted in my cooking class, baking, and ang nakuha ko lang at ang pinakamataas na grade siguro ay sa doctrine class namin. Hanggang sa palagi akong kinakausap ng teacher namin kung anong problema. She's trying to ask and help me. Even my closest friend in the class is disturbed by how I participate. At night, just like other students na kasama ko, actually, we are not really following the sleeping schedule kasi we make time for reviewing our class. I also tried to review, tried to focus. I even went to the room of my friend na matalino sa subject na gusto kong i-review for her help. But still, I failed. I've got the lowest score in most of our exams. And hanggang sa point na I questioned my ability, I questioned my attractiveness, I questioned everything about me. Na actually, palagi ko namang ginagawa sa sarili ko kahit noon pa. Hanggang sa palagi akong umiiyak sa gabi. Hindi ko makita kung saan ako nagkulang. I follow the schedule. I try to study. I try to be likable. I try to be funny. I'm an all-out friend. Still, I questioned myself, my worth. The only thing that saves me that time was my spiritual life. This is the reason why I stayed and hindi ako umalis. Hindi ko sinuko ang sarili ko sa pagharap sa kahiyan na nasa isip ko lamang. Praying helps me to acknowledge my self-worth, at least in the span of 2 years studying and working. I'm so grateful they also had that practices. Simula pa lang noon, alam ko na there is something wrong with me. Hindi ko lang ma-figure out kung ano at kung anong solusyon. But at least that time, I learned that praying helps me at least to lessen and little by little enlighten me to know kahit medyo natagalan at sa tulong na din ng mga dumaan na pagsubok at mga panahon. Mapapansin nyo na we practice time management very well kasi most of our time we have something to do. We have good practices and good routine, even spiritual practices. Pero nagkaroon pa rin ako ng anxiety and depression that time kasi na-realize ko na hindi ko pa na-absorb ang mga bagay na yon sa sarili ko. Sabi nga nila, it takes time, ika nga. Hindi ko ma-absorb ang mga salitang maging masaya ka kahit busy ka, kaya mo yan. You are worthy of love. You are special. Instead, nadala ko pa rin ang mga unworthiness na meron ako noon. Nadala ko pa rin at nakadikit pa, hindi maalis. Distracted kasi dahil hindi mapakali. Distracted kasi dahil palaging iniisip ang sasabihin ng iba. Pero ito ang nalaman ko, na ang low self-worth para talaga can lead you to depression. That's why, kahit meron akong good routine and good habits, wala pa din. Fall into depression and anxiety pa rin. Ang hindi ko natanggal na bad habits sa akin ay ang sobrang paghanap ng kahalagahan, ang palaging pag-question sa kakayahan, at mababa ang tingin sa sarili. That's why it is really important not to rely always on good habits or routine. You should also practice more your love for yourself. Ano ba yung mga palagi mong sinasabi sa sarili mo? Dapat even words that you always tell yourself is sisiguraduhin mo more on uplifting yourself. Kasi in my experience, meron nga akong proper routine or schedule ang naging habits ko ito. Pero hindi ko ito napagtuunan ng pansin, ang mga sinasabi ko sa sarili ko. That's why praying has the big role in our lives. When you pray, you can refuel your inspiration. So sana nabigyan ko kayo ng glimpse kung bakit importante ang good habits. So,
Hindi na na-maintain.
let's dive into anong mga steps para sa pag-cope ng anxiety and depression. Good habits ay mahirap i-apply kapag meron kang anxiety and depression, lalo na kapag ang atmosphere na ginagalawan mo ay hindi maayos. Unlike sa naranasan ko na naging maswerte ako dahil nakapasok ako sa ganoong lugar at na-experience ko kung anong kahalagahan ng pagkakaroon ng magandang kagawian. Question, what if nasa stage ka ng anxiety and depression? One thing that I discovered na nakatulong to stop oneself to not doing anything, especially fulfilling small tasks or planning in times of being down, is doing the opposite of what your mind tells you. Kung matigas ang ulo mo, mas dapat labanan mo o lamangan mo ang iniisip ng isip mo. What do I mean by this? Remember na ang opposite ng procrastination ay laziness. Ang opposite ng bad habit ay lack of motivation. So pag sinabi ng isip mo na tinatamad kang mag-set ng time para gumising ka ng maaga, you should push yourself to do so. Set the time. Maganda ang gawin ang mga small tasks. For example, washing your face towel. Just to have anything to do. To change your thoughts. Para magkaroon ka ng oxygen sa isip mo. Kailangan mong gumalaw-galaw. Ito ang mga kailangan mong gawin para magkaroon ka ng courage to do anything. Ito ang kailangan mong gawin para stop ang pagpapaliban ng small tasks na kailangan mong tapusin. Tip number 1. It is very essential to form a habit that is very realistic. Plan small tasks na kailangan mong pagtuunan ng pansin. At tanungin mo ang sarili mo kung nasan ka ngayon. Kasi bago mo ma-discover ang deepest why mo para gawin ang mga kailangan mong gawin at mahanap ang motivation mo, you need to meet yourself where you are. Ano ang mga bagay na kontrolado mo? Tanggap mo ba kung nasan ka ngayon kahit ano pang estado ng buhay mo ay hindi ibig sabihin ay habang buhay ka ng ganyan? Na where you are right now isn't where you're always gonna be. And acceptance and openness helps you to find the door for freedom. Ang susi sa depression and anxiety ay ang pagtanggap mo sa iyong sarili. Ngayon, meron na tayong ideya kung paano i-flip ang mindset natin. Let's dive into this. Have you experienced the following? Feeling hopeless, not enjoying pleasurable things, racing thoughts, uncontrollable overthinking, feeling irritable, di makatulog, change of appetite, even suicidal thoughts, at minsan naman you don't wanna hurt yourself pero you wish you never been born. Wanting to escape from the situation you are in. Kung na-feel mo o naramdaman mo ang mga ito, don't worry, di ka nag-iisa. Iba-iba ang symptoms ng depression and anxiety. Maybe iilan dyan nararanasan mo o kaya lahat ng yan. Pero hindi lahat ng nakararanas nito kayang makipag-usap sa iba o humingi ng tulong. Kaya minsan sa mga taong gusto na ng pagbabago sa kanilang sarili, they tried to have a self-healing. Nag-research, gumagawa ng paraan. Pero seeking help is really the best option. One thing that I remember that I will also suggest to you that helps me a lot is to seek help. Whether that is your spiritual advisor, mentor, parent, closest friends, or family, try to discover and share your thoughts to someone. Someone that you trust. Kung kailangan mo ng professional help, go to counseling. Mental health is not a joke. Tip number 2. Kung kailangan mong umiyak ka. Allow yourself to heal. Do not pressure yourself. Surrender yourself. If you're having a bad day or down days, let go. Release yourself. Rest. Pwede mo naman namnamin ang emosyon mo. Maging aware ka lang. Huwag kang magstay doon. And the third tip, based on my own experience, the best way na nakatulong sa akin in times of loneliness is journaling. Personally, Second tip is gumawa ka ng to-do list. Check your habits. Habits check. Gumawa ka ng panibagong routine. Isa sa mga napaka-effective way para makarecover sa depression and anxiety is organizing your day. Settling a gentle schedule ay nakakatulong na ma-feel mo na kontrolado mo ang nararamdaman mo. Pero tandaan, in doing your to-do list, you don't need to map out an entire day. Focus on times when you feel disorganized or scattered. May separate schedule for personal routine at sa trabaho. Your schedule could focus on the time bago mag-work at bago ka matulog. Here, you can make your own routine na just like what I have said, makakatulong sa pag-manage mo sa mga disorganized mong time sa buong araw. Tip: focus on creating a loose schedule, pero dapat structured ito, na makakatulong sa iyo na magawa mo pa rin ang daily fixed schedule for you. For example, your work. Ang tandaan, know that today isn't indicate of tomorrow. For separate journal or your diary, nung depressed ako, di ko to napapansin. Most of the time, generalize ko pala ang isang negative thoughts or negative thought. This is what I have learned sa journey ko. Ang depression parang recollection ng mga negative thoughts and emotions. Di mo pansin sa sarili mo na nagfo-focus ka sa isang bagay na hindi magandang nangyari kesa sa mga bagay na successful, na okay naman. Ang tip ko dito, stop, reflect, wag mong lahatin. I-recognize mo ang mga magagandang nangyari. Try mong isulat. Write down all the good things, whatever makes you feel happy about the day or event, or yung mga bagay na grateful ka. Isulat mo din yung mga nangyayaring di maganda. Try mong i-weigh. And then, i-practice mo ang pagiging thankful and grateful mo. Assess the parts instead of generalizing the whole. Go for a walk, exercise, change your activity for a moment. Do the opposite of what the depression voice suggests. Here I can share what I heard from a priest, at least paano ko naalala. Not the exact word actually. Ang temptation daw, sumasagi sa isip natin. Oo, inaalaw ng Diyos na pumasok ito sa isip natin. Pero nasa sayo. Challenge ito, hawak mo, kontrolado mo, kung papalampasin o nanamnamin mo ito. Kasi kung alam mo bang poison, balak mo pa bang namnamin kahit alam mong nakakamatay? I admit, minsan kahit alam kong mali, lalo na sa mga panahong disorganized ako, sa schedule, sa pagplano, sa pagdidesisyon, di pinag-iisipan masyado, naaapektahan talaga ang pag-resist ko sa temptation. And ang tip ko dito, one thing that helped me here is to have in mind the awareness and the presence and existence of God. Set attainable goals. Itong suggestion ko na to depends to sa tao or sa inyo. What works for me might not work for you. In my case, sa to-do list notebook ko, I write all my tasks each day depende sa priority. Minsan, sa isang araw, ang nasa huli sa listahan ko ay hindi urgent. I like writing long to-do list each day. Depende sa urgency. Pag hindi ko nagawa yung hindi masyadong urgent or priority, nilalagay ko ulit ito the following day at ginagawa ko na siyang priority. And my last tip, I think, reward your efforts. Lahat ng goal na na-accomplish ay kailangan ng recognition. Pag nakatapos ka ng isang goal, wag mong kalimutang i-recognize ito kahit simple lang, hindi kailangang engrande. Ang pag-acknowledge ng success ay malaking weapon to fight against depression weight. And lesson. And please remember, what you think about yourself matters than on what other people think of you. Take your time. You're worthy. Stop avoiding shame and criticism. Stop being perfectionist, because perfectionism is just a way to trying to avoid shame and criticism. And remember, critical people has the most criticism to themselves. When you change your word, it will change your world.